Okay, good morning. We're looking at a chart of the 5-minute S&P 500 for Tuesday, December 3rd. So we can see right now we've broken below the KP here at 95. The next price up here is at 17. So 22 points. We've got a big gap between these. So let's go back and see what happened here after the close. So market closed yesterday, reopened here today. We traded down to 08, traded back up here to the 17, 18 half area, traded a little bit higher up to 2175. And if you remember, we said yesterday, we said that 21 area, I can't remember if we said 21, 21 half, but that area, that may be all we would see on the sell side, so it makes sense that we would bounce back here again. So we bounced back to here, sold off from there down to the CPA at 17, a little bit of a bounce off of there, then did break, then traded back up here to 20, and then the big push down from 20 all the way down to 3100. And we saw some buyers step in there and try for a little bit, take it up to about 07, and just not any buying happening here. So we knew this was going to come at some point, and we're getting some more selling right now. So this is by no means just click, sell, and hold. We saw yesterday there were some fairly significant bounces and rather slow. I mean, given there was a large range, but given the large range, it was still range bound yesterday after the first part of the morning session. So I've made this a little smaller so you can see. So this makes it look like it's not really that much of a range, but there's some big gaps here. So this is 95 down to 85 quarter. We're likely going to fill this gap down to here. Below 85 quarter would be down to 72 half, and below 72 half we've got 54 quarter. And obviously we would expect to see buyers. I mean, if things got really ugly, and this would be pretty ugly down to here or even down to here, at some point the buyers are going to have to step in. Now, we're not generally planning on a one-way type of market scenario. And obviously we have those types of days. We've had days where we've seen this market sell off 180 points. And I'm not saying that I think that's today, but you always have to be aware that there are scenarios like that that can play out. So if we were to break below here, this 30.42 half, this becomes a whole different scenario. These prices, maybe they're important, maybe they're not important. We could just go right through them. So that's sort of in the back of your mind, and again, not even really thinking that's a scenario that we're going to see play out here today, but in the event that it did, you'd certainly want to know that information and not be trying to buy all these prices down here. So likely we're going to see down here to 85, and I'm going to talk about bouncing in just a minute. So what on the other side, what we might see. So we're likely at least going to see down here to 85 area. If that doesn't hold, very easily can see the 72 half, and then that not holding would be a fairly significant break, because that would get us down here to 54 quarter. So this is a fairly large 18-point gap here, and even this is a decent gap, 13 points or so. So each one of these breaking today is fairly significant in that it opens up a 10, 15, 18, 20 point target to the next prediction point. So for bouncing, we could easily see this thing bounce back up here to this 01, 01 half, 0175, somewhere back into this area. And then could see even 05 to 06, somewhere into here. But then above there, we probably, let's see here. So we do have this, we're gonna just look here. We have 09 and I'll put these all in the chat as well. And then probably this area would be the next. Yeah, so 13, 12 half, really to 13 half, right in there. So you're getting to see me do this on the fly right here as we're looking at these bounce scenarios. So this is not planned out, and I'm looking at, okay, so what are we going to likely use? So on scenarios like this, to teach you something here this morning, on scenarios like this, when we've traded down to a price like this and then traded back up from it, I'm looking for the market to come back and retest this. So we haven't tested 09 and we did get some significant buying off of it. And so we haven't come back and tested that, so we could definitely see that. And then you kind of see how we made this around. I'm sure there's some pattern for that some chart pattern teaching guru has taught people, but I'm even thinking about, you know, they have the arc that they'll draw underneath that. So something like, what do they call this? Yeah, that's not what it is. Okay, anyway, enough of chart patterns since it's really irrelevant. So what you're going to look at here, we're going to see some kind of a bounce up here, very possibly up to 09. Again, we have this 01, 02 area. Could see this 05, 06. Right here we've got 09, we've got 12 half to 13 half, and then we do have the CPA. And then much up above that CPA would probably get us back up to the 25. So from here to 17, back up to 25. And then from here, we could still not rule out all the way back up to 37.25. And in the big picture, not be in a strong uptrending market. So this is a long ways up to here, and I'm not saying we should be selling all the way up to here. But one of the things when the market, so expect a very volatile market today. We can see from our prediction points how far apart they are, that we're likely going to see some volatility today. One of the great things about when the market is volatile like this and there are big gaps between prediction points is you really don't have to be a genius to trade this thing. So it breaks below here and there's just an opportunity to short down to this price. If it breaks below this price, there's a 13-point gap down to the next price. So when it breaks below here, if you can work a short order, when it breaks, if you can work an order to get short below here, or right in and around this price, then you can get short for the next price down. Now if that holds, you can ride that back up to here. Maybe you try a short here. If that doesn't work, there's a long ways to go up here. From 95 just to 01, we've got 6 points. So if I risk a 1.5 or 2 points or something on a short here and it doesn't work, then on a long, I've got 6 points up to 01. So that works, you know, risking a couple points, but on the other side, there's 6 points if it doesn't work out. So when it comes back up here, if I try a short and that doesn't work, well, it's likely going to come up here and come back down, or maybe even come all the way back down to here and then come back up here. So, you know, when there's these big gaps in this volatility, you can basically just plan your trades around. If the prediction point holds, you can buy it or sell it, and if it doesn't hold, then you can trade it in the other direction, and you really don't have to be some sort of market wizard to figure out what to do next. So big gaps between here at 22 points, lots of opportunity. So the plan is maybe some bouncing from here, maybe from here, but if this doesn't hold, there's 13 points down to this prediction point. If that doesn't hold, there's 20 or 18 points down to the next one. And knowing that we could always make a bigger bounce up to here, but when there's this big of a gap between these, the closest one we have here is like 10 points apart right here, and then this one is about 8 points apart. There's lots of room to make 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 15 points in between these prediction points. So today, if you just stick with trading in between the prediction points, that should work out pretty nicely, and then pay attention to some of these areas that I'll post in the chat on the way up here. But still lots of opportunity here today. So that's what we're looking at here for today, and I will see you in the map room.